We are here to do it with Detroit's, the Motor City's finest. I've been looking forward to do this one. I wanted to get my hands on a Cade build. I haven't managed to crack a Cade pick yet. I keep on trying to pick a Cade pick, but then I get earlier options in drafts. And I was thinking maybe if I get to 6 or 7 or 8 in this industry mock draft, I could land myself Cade. There's always fears in these industry mock drafts. People know that I wanted Cade. Will they take him? Will they leave him? I was very intrigued that I got him 8th in this draft. One of the latest that I have seen him for a first rounder. I have cooked up a Cade Cunningham build, and I have got to drip it on with an absolute perfect second round pairing. A build that I love. It's deep. It's stacked with assists, scoring, rebounds, really good field goal percentage, excellent free throw percentage, and it's coming at you right now. Big shout out first and foremost to Alex Barutha. He is the man who put this together. So chef's kiss. This was the slowish industry mock draft. Why slowish? Thank you very much to my man at Rotowire for doing this. It was huge. Slowish because this took us days as stories across the NBA unfolded. Now, it is a 10-team league. So for the even shallow leagues, look, I like a 10-team format. I'm in a personal friends and family league. It's a 10-teamer, and I find it's actually one of the most competitive formats because your wire is just always active. And this is 14 players deep, 10 active slots, 4 reserves. Now, season activates, there would be up to 3 IRs, which factor into my thinking right here. So straight off the top, shout out to Papi Roy, Nick Whalen, Alex Barutha, the host. We've got Edgy in there. We've got NBA Rotowire. We've got Sloan Piva. Shout out to him. Baratola, myself, Det Skeller, and the homie, the Saint. Bless up. It's a St Pierre. Pierre. But that sounds nothing like French and probably offensive to all of our French friends. I am so sorry, but I'm not sorry about this build. Check it out. There I am, Matty G in the 8th pick. Now, I was worried, like I said, that I would not be able to land Cade Cunningham on this build. I really wanted to give it a little bit of flex muscles. Cade fills out, look, overall, he's really well. Now, for my projections for the year, you may or you may not want to build off Cade in the first round. I don't know if he gets to be a first rounder by the end of the year. I say that with complete and utter respect, for the fact of the matter is that last year, he led the Detroit Pistons, the deepest they have been in forever, without being a first-round player in fantasy basketball. In fact, looking down on some, he finished in the 3rd round. It's 28th on some, 26th on some. I've seen him ranked 32. So all of a sudden, the question is, why are we taking these guys? Now, I have the same thoughts and feelings about Anthony Edwards, who was taken at 7. But these are the consensus, guys, because what we're looking to do is we're looking to build out our rosters really robustly from the start. And the consensus goes as the general consensus goes here. Jokic 1, Wemby 2, interchangeable, Shea 3, Luka 4. That's it. A homie at Rotowire took Anthony Davis at 5. Now, I have no problem with that. I think Anthony Davis is going to have another exceptional year. He is a top 5 fantasy player when healthy. He can be. Maybe top 10 overall. Let's just make him a first rounder and just pencil in AD as a first round slot. The fact that I've seen him occasionally go at the end of first rounds, I find almost odd. Giannis, the big news this week, possibly trade around the New York Knicks. This happened after that in the offseason. What's his motivation in Milwaukee? These guys could go really badly, but the competitor in Giannis makes me think that he's not. So he's always going to be in this first round mix. And in fact, I have seen him taken 4th and Luka slide to 5th in a couple of scenarios, but I wouldn't expect that in your league's draft day. This was the next one. Anthony Edwards. I have been seeing Trae Young here. I've been seeing James Harden here. I've been seeing Anthony Edwards here. And he went number 7. That put me in the position to grab Cade Cunningham. Now, this is where it gets a little bit frisky and risky at the end of the first round. We've got Trae Young to Det, and then Steve St Pierre rolled the dice with the Tyrese Maxey. Now, I've seen a little bit of a trend lately as Tyrese Maxey as a first-round player. I have been on the pro Tyrese train for a while. First round, I've said he's a perfect pairing and a perfect fringy guy for this points, assists. We don't know what's happening with Joel Embiid. The Sixers are the Sixers, but this guy put together a really fantastic season last year. So I am all for that. Now, going at 10th, I'm not so sure. He finished 10th last year, funnily enough, in fantasy, and he did play 52 games across the season. So Saint has drafted him at the exact same position that he would have been last year. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that, especially when we start talking about, well, if he finished at the same thing, if you expect to bump and blah, blah. No, cut that out. That's crazy talk. Because, again, we're drafting Cade Cunningham and Anthony Edwards ahead of him pretty much consistently. The ADP data shows it. But yet Tyrese Maxey is slipping off the radars into the second round. So he is a nice little steal right there. So taking him at number 10, I've got no problem with. The Karl Anthony Towns pairing, I was unsure of. Now, look, Cat's good, but he wants to fill it across the cup. He wants some points. He wants rebounds. He wants to balance his assists, and I get it. Det's the same here. Det's gone for someone. Now, look, Sabonis is a double-double machine. Wherever you have him, and you think basically in a 12-teamer, that's the 12th pick. And that's okay. It's not sexy by any means. I don't have Sabonis as high on my priorities list this year, but I totally understand the imperative to have him. Because then I'm really happy in my second round that I got to pair James Harden. I love that. Now, looking at the ADP data, I'm checking this right now. He is shot up in ADP data recently. Also, Sabonis has crept up. And funnily enough, in Fantrax, James Harden is 12th. His worst is an ESPN at 19, and Yahoo has Harden at 15. I am absolutely stoked to pick him up at number 13, right around his ADP. He was there. I had a choice of Booker or Curry. I wanted to get an elite guard. I wanted to get more assists. I wanted to round out the rebounds as well. We know Harden chips in across the board, very much in a Cade Cunningham style, and I love that pairing that I've managed to put together. I've got Devin Booker, Kevin Durant off the board, Evan Mobley, Steph Curry, Alperen Şengün. The trending for him right now is absolutely huge in the second round. In fact, he is going 22nd overall. Bang. And guess what? This is just under where he is. He is 18th here. Wait, 17th? Wait, 8th pick? No, 10th, 18th pick. Thank goodness. But he is 22nd overall. So this is an industry mock draft, and he is being taken 18th, especially with the Fred VanVleet news out, who's getting the point guard role. They haven't brought anyone in. They haven't made a trade in Houston. So Şengün is getting a lot of love very early. Donovan Mitchell, no problem with that. And Papi Roy, the king himself, the dubious liquor sponsor, second decision man, LeBron James, taken out the end of the second round. Turning it back into the third round, this was not a third round reversal. This was a traditional snake draft. And look, all can be said about it. Look, it's fine. It's fair, whatever. Depending on your draft format, in 20-man leagues, I wouldn't care about it. 18-man leagues, probably 16s. In 10s, I definitely see the merit of a third round reversal. 12s, I see it. 14s, I see it. The bump you get in that way, that third person, that's the key there. So making that person the last, I'm kind of just getting with it now, and I'm fine with it, and I have no problem whatsoever. It's a good thing. Now, Josh Giddey goes here, and a lot of people know that I'm high on Giddey. Am I that high on Josh Giddey? Look, it all depends, to be fair. In my current build, if I was to take him at 13, I think I'm doing myself a disservice with where he could potentially be at the end of the year. Looking through my rankings, I have him as a top 40 player on the year, and I know I sound all the time that I'm high on him, but I'm really high on him if Papi Roy had taken Josh Giddey there in the beginning of the third round at pick 21. Just listen to the voice. Watch the video for a second. Listen. Let me drop some knowledge on you for a minute. That is almost an unassailable lead on assists in the first three rounds. Like, all three of those guys are almost walking triple doubles. Like, that's ridiculous. Josh Giddey put him in for 7, 8 assists a game. LeBron, 7 or 8 assists a game, 9, 10 assists a game straight away for Jokic. You can pepper them with point guards later on or other passing big men. And finally, Papi Roy has actually done that with his 10th pick in the 10th round, much further on the draft if we go on down the flagship there to Isaiah Hartenstein. In fact, Papi Roy He's backed him up with Cooper Flagg, who he knows is going to run a lot of the ball through him as well in Dallas. So he is complementing with some out-of-position assists there with LeBron James and Cooper Flagg and Isaiah Hartenstein. And if he had taken Giddey there, now, yeah, what do you mean Brunson's not going to pass? He's a point guard. Yeah, but he loves the ball too much. So, yeah, he's going to get you assists, but I don't think in the space or the quality or quantity that Josh Giddey's going to get you. So it's not that it's a misstep by Papi Roy, but if that was me and that was the build that I was constructing, that's where if I have that third round pick and Josh Giddey is sitting there, Struth, I'm taking it. Like, that is just an undeniably massive advantage right off there. Amen Thompson next, Paolo Banchero, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Williams, Lonzo, LaMelo Ball in the third round, seventh. A bit of trend towards LaMelo Ball. People starting to think like, oh, that's right, he's shown out in the preseason. Like, LaMelo's a baller. Yeah, he is, but we can never trust that. But there's all of a sudden it's starting to be like, maybe I should draft LaMelo Ball. Maybe I should draft. Is he wearing ankle straps again? Is he taped up? Yeah, he is. And in fact, now he's the 31st player overall drafted. And you can see in this one that, again, in an industry mock draft, where is he going? He is going 27th. He's going 4 spots. Now, that's a little bit of a theme here. A lot of these guys are going 4 or 5 spots. They're being drafted and rostered onto these teams before these ADPs. Now, again, all industry analysts right here doing this draft. So that's the ADP indicators. And you can assume that they are all over the shop from like higher end, like analysts like myself are doing, and to some noobs and some guys who are just getting used to it on the tail end of that, right? There's a medium between that. And this is where in these leagues, if LaMelo Ball is Yahoo, ADP is 30. 33rd, ESPN. It makes no sense in point setting. And then 29.9, 31 overall, blended average. That is huge for him. This is one of the biggest ones that I've seen undo here. Jalen Johnson. I was rubbing my hands together at this. I was like, no, am I going to be able to, I can boost my rebounds and some defensive stats straight away here. Immediately getting Jalen Johnson here, I have been absolutely pumped by. This guy, for me, is a potential second rounder. This is now in the third round of most traditional drafts, in the third round, 8th pick. That's the 28th pick. That's mid-third round for me. I love that. I'm smashing that every single time. We talk about best on board. That's a guy that I'm really happy with to be best on board there. Chet Holmgren rounds that out. Derek White. Into the fourth, a guy that I had in my queue, Miles Turner, and another guy I had in my queue just to really get those point guard positions down early, because I'm going to have to change tact, because I know there's some guys that come off the board. And I want to talk through that in a second after this pick. I taken Kawhi Leonard here because I did not think that he was going to come back to me. Dyson Daniels was another one in my queue. Ja Morant in my queue before the injury news this was. So I can see Ja Morant already trending down a little bit in ADP data, which is good. But again, I don't expect him to miss much time or much of the preseason. But let's just focus our eyes, if you're watching or if you're listening, just listen to this one for a minute. The orange in Fantrax indicates the guards. And the elite guards start to really drop off now in the 5th round. In fact, in the next round, I was faced with a very difficult choice. I was hoping to bring Austin Reeves possibly in my team, but I've gone for Kristaps Porzingis, thinking that I need a center at this point because it's the 5th round, and Joel Embiid just got taken, Vucevic got taken, and Zubac got taken. And you can see that the only centers taken in the 3rd and 4th round here, they're the green ones. Chet Holmgren in the 3rd, in the 4th round, Turner and Adebayo. So 3 out of 20 were centers. And now all of a sudden in the 5th round, the run starts. So I was like, okay, if it's going to be a traditional 5-round thing where the centers go off the board, I want to get the guy who are going to get some blocks and some rebounds, a bit of a handcuff to Jalen Johnson in Atlanta. I'm going to go KP here. So I have, especially when I've seen Embiid go off the board before him, I'm like, oh, here we go. These guys you can put into IR and out. If that's going to be a thing and a trend, I'm not going to miss out on a guy that I wanted. But Austin Reeves was sitting there for me as well. And this is the guys that I'm talking about now in the 5th round. Reeves, Fox. I've picked up Pritchard next round. But then the rest of the, let's say, good point guards are gone. Garland injured in the 7th. Hero, to me, injured in the 7th. Poole, he's there in the 7th round, 7th pick. Quickly in the 8th round. Nembhard, 9th round. Can anyone else tell me they're a top-tier point guard? No, they're all gone. They're absolutely all gone. And if you look back earlier on the draft board, look at all the orange, or just the orange that's gone off in the first rounds. In the first 3 rounds, SGA, Luka, Edwards, Cunningham, Trey, Maxey, Harden, Booker, Curry, Mitchell, Brunson, Giddey, LaMelo Ball, Derek White, Murray, Dyson Daniels, Ja Morant, gone. Like the top tiers are gone by this point. And now we're picking up guys who are going to add us the points. In fact, I would have taken Kobe White in the 7th round over Jalen Green, and that's where that starts up. But that's me personally, because I think Kobe White is a little bit of an MVP in these situations. I think he is definitely one of those guys who just gets in there and has a bit of a crack. And if you want to get in and be a bit of an MVP, you need to hurry up and believe in fantasy.com. Get onto the website with a $100 Amazon gift card. There are NBA rookie cards to be won. We've got Howley, Edwards, who I've mentioned, Mobley, Tyrese Maxey rookie cards. I wouldn't give you one of my personal ones, but Robin here's doing it. LaMelo, Cade Cunningham, and there is a PSA special all involved with that. You also jump into the Discord. Shout out to Bojet. Can I just say, this is a legit thing. We get messages and DMs at all times of night. And shout out, Bojet. Here we go. Jamal or Derek White, DMs and messages to me directly. Now, that was at 2:10 a.m. yesterday morning. I woke up, got to reply. That's the kind of access you get to the experts on our private VIP Discord. Make sure you get yourself into that straight away and take advantage of all of the access to the experts. Now, let's jump back into this one. Rounding back out the 4th round, I've taken Kawhi Leonard, Bam, Jaylen Brown there, Dyson Daniels, Siakam, Advia, Morant, and Cooper Flag rounds out the 4th. In the 5th round, Franz, Zubac, Trey Murphy, great pick there, Vooch, Zion Williamson, Desmond Bane, Joel Embiid, and like I said, I've backed up this center right here. I wanted to get my guy. I wanted Kristaps Porzingis-White. I want high free throws. I want good field goals. I want threes. I want rebounds. I want some blocks, because I'm going to get some blocks here from my guards. I will get some from Cade and Harden. Jalen Johnson adds me some defense. Kawhi Leonard adds me defense. So now I want to just pilfer this out. So anyone who's kind of leaving those to the side, I'm going to be able to be very competitive in this league by adding blocks and steals along with my very good rebounds and my very good assists and field goal percentages. Turnovers, they're probably going out the window very, very, very soon. Austin Reeves, someone who I had in my queue, and De'Aaron Fox, also in my queue, they go next. Jaren Jackson Jr. now in the 6th round is an absolutely great pick by Steve St Pierre, because he can stash him in IR, much like I'd be doing with my next pick. And this is where the injured guys start to go. Now, at the beginning of the 6th round now, this is the 60th pick. So we've had 59 picks. This is the 60th pick right now. So if you're around pick 50, pick 60, this is where the injured guys are starting to go. And for all intents and purposes, looking through recent data, this is pretty much where it is as well. Joel Embiid, 53.5. Now, that's a really big indicator right here, because you can see that he's gone here a little bit later than that. 5th round, 7th pick. So we've gone into, again, probably a 47th pick. There you go, 47th, just ahead. Oh, look at that, 6 picks ahead of ADP. So this is where you want to be getting these guys. It's where you want to kind of be focusing that in a little bit. So that's it. De'Aaron Fox, he's been going around 41. So to see him here at the 50s after the injury, this was a little bit interesting to see him fall a little bit. That's why he gets a little bit tastier on that pick. If you're seeing it, don't doubt it after a point. Know those ADPs and where you can compensate and come back for it, because that's going to give you a bit more of a bump come your draft day. Other guys who are slipping down are Tyler Hero right now. He has dropped into 66. Here again, picking him up in that zone. He is now he's gone past 60 in the 7th round. I have picked him up here at the 78th pick in the draft. I love that, because Jordan Poole, who I had in my queue and I saw live in Melbourne down on the weekend with New Orleans Pelicans, wore sunglasses and won the 3-point shooting competition, mind you. And they were calling him Dr. Smooth. I didn't know Jordan Poole was Dr. Smooth. Apparently he is Dr. Smooth, but he was really connected to the team. Kevon Looney, here's a subtlety for you. He played on the Warriors with Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney is on the Pels now. Like, someone who is there who had his back and was literally like the guy, it was actually. Kevon was locked in there. We've been walking up to the free throw line together through warm-ups, dapping up, just giving little whispers in each other's ears, having some jokes. And he also seemed really connected with Jose Alvarado. In fact, I got a photo. I can bring it up on my phone. I posted it on X. Go and check it out. I was really curious by it because one of the first people to go over and check on Jose Alvarado when he went down was Jordan Poole. I think this guy is ingratiating himself. I think the Wizards' year was a stopgap. He had some brilliant flourishes there. He was a top 20 player to start the season. Insane. He's never quite got back from those things that we wanted to see from him with the Warriors, but I think he looks really settled in New Orleans. So I've kind of put him on my bump up the radar a little bit, and I really like what I'm seeing out of Jordan Poole. Again, injured guys, Hero and Garland go off this one with Kessler to split the round. Cam Johnson, love this. Again, another situation where Cam Johnson's been taken after Michael Porter Jr. Porter Jr. in the 7th round there. The 6th round got a little bit interesting with, as I said, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jimmy Butler, Peyton Pritchard, Pirtle, Miller, Julius Randle, Lowry Markkinen, Jalen Duren, OG Anunoby, Zach LaVine. Like I've already said in the 7th, I would have switched Kobe White and Jalen Green in that build, but I see it. Both of them really high point scorers. I like Kobe White more personally, but you can interchange those two, whoever you want to get some points this late in your draft. Again, this is what Michael Porter Jr. is doing. Miles Bridges, digging that pick. Buzelis, loving it. Jarrett Allen, dropping down radars, will still play probably a role in Cleveland. Probably does have a bit of a reduced role, but that's about it for him. Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, Kessler, Garland, Cam Johnson, Asar Thompson, Mark Williams, DeMar DeRozan, Josh Hart, Alex Sarr, Donovan Klingland, Emmanuel Quickly, Rudy Gobert, Miles, and Mikal Bridges in the 8th round. DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Simons, and Andrew Nembhard there really round this out and starting to get some more bears of where the teams are heading. And what you can see with those is that people are really putting their teams together right about now by peppering in guys like DeMar DeRozan, as I said, Alex Sarr. I love this. Klingend, some of the big men that I love. The fact that Mark Williams, for me, slipped here was a massive cherry on top. Now, picking up Tyler Hero and working him from IR was a massive get because I still wanted to get a couple of centers because I feel like my big minutes have gone off. I've got good rebounds by way of Jalen Johnson, Harden for guards, Pritchard not so much. Hero's out of action. He's a 0 for the first few weeks to start. But this is where I'm like, I need to get some quality big men late. Who am I going to get? On my radar, guys like Sarr, Klingend, Gobert. Ayton was in my list. I was hoping he would drop. Okongwu, I went with Kamara because I wanted those steals because I feel like I was really competitive in steals in the next round. But this is where the last of those guys were throwing me. And this is where I should have also probably locked down maybe a guy like Hartenstein. But I managed to pick up someone very juicy late because of that injury bug. So again, Hart, Sarr, Klingend, Quickly, Gobert, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton starts the 9th round, Anthony Simons, Nembhard, John Collins, like that, Benedict Mathurin, Naz Reid, Cam Thomas to Baratola. I love that by Lotta because just getting those points that deep, like at 97, absolutely huge. Timoni Kamara, some specialists for me. Christian Brown, love that. Okongwu, Paul George, Shaedon Sharpe, I am on this season. And he was my next pick. And I was fuming that Det got that. Like, I was so angry. In fact, today, in the preseason game versus the Warriors, I had him 15 points at 225. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this guy's a scorer. He is showing a willingness to play make in this team. And I love the outlook for Shaedon Sharpe this year. So getting him in the 10th round with the 2nd pick, absolutely will take it every single day of the week. Unfortunately, I then had to get someone different. I decided to get some more points and back up with Brandon Ingram, who I'm hearing is locked in the Toronto Raptors and should have an excellent season there. It was either him or Keegan Murray. Hadn't drafted Ingram much, so I thought I'd give him a day in court. Keegan Murray then obviously goes next. Kel'el Ware, Norman Powell, CJ McCollum, and Kevin Porter. Now, these are what I'm talking about with KPJ. This late in the draft, in the 10th round, this is where the last of these fringy guards are going. In the 10th round here. So this is around, again, at the end, around just the top 100. So CJ McCollum, 97, Norm Powell, 96, Kevin Porter, 98. But then look who's coming down in the 11th rounds later on. We've got guys like Stephon Castle, Jaden Ivey. You got Drew Holiday going late in the 12th round. He was on my radar. But these are the guys who are later on. One of the best values there I see is D'Angelo Russell late. So we got to be aware that the good point guards are gone by pick 100. So if you're really focusing in on that, try and get them by 100, no later than 110 to get those starting point guards because otherwise they are off the menu. And you are left with guys like Keontae George, young guy, not going to give you what you really need. So just keep that in mind right throughout. RJ Barrett almost out of the 10th round there with Hartenstein locking it down for Papi Roy. Bradley Beal, Jaden McDaniels, Santi Aldama, Stephon Castle, Jaden Ivey, Carl Filipowski. Love that, D. This is it. Tobias Safe as Houses Harris. That was awesome picking. Now, he was on my radar because I was really starting to think that I was going to have to really mess around for some centers late, but Zach Giddey falls to me. So I was happy that I'd already got my forwards by way of Johnson, Leonard, Kamara, and Brandon Ingram. Happy to see Tobias Harrison take that decision away from me. Sometimes that's the best thing in fantasy, and we don't say it enough. When a player goes, they go. Don't freak about it. Be like, you know what? I'm good with that. I'm very good with getting Zach Giddey at 110. Someone who could be a top 50, top 60 player, stash him in IR for 3 or 4 weeks and be good with it. So that's the smart way to play it. Don't freak out. Know your settings, know your spots, grab the guy that is going to best fit your team. Devin Vassell, love that to almost run out the 11th round there with Tara Eason also on my radar and being taken. Now, Drew Holiday, again, on my radar. This is where those guys that I love, the fringy guys, I think I'm really into the fringe dudes this year. These are the guys that I'm really into that I'm missing out on because they're going maybe before me, or I'm making a different choice and I'm thinking they're going to come back to me near these parts of the draft. Because again, I'm 8th. So there's 4 picks after me and back to me. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I could get Vassell's on my list, Easton and Holiday. They're all in my queue and 3 of the 4 dudes go. Straight away, I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I have someone else. It's Herb Jones. Love picking up Herb in the 12th round. Love that value for me. Nick Claxton, Jalen Suggs. I know, again, a starting point guard could be great, but just much maligned and injured, and I'm very dubious of him this season. Top 100 player, but there's a little bit of risk involved with Jalen Suggs. Andrew Wiggins, love that from him late. Going to be a lead in the Miami team. Aaron Gordon, Reed Shepard, Keontae George, and Draymond Green, getting us those rebounds, steals, and assists late. D'Angelo Russell from Papi Roy, Dante DiVincenzo, love that. Another guy in my queue that I can never just seem to land right there at 130. I'm really comfortable taking him in the 110 to 120 zone if I have to, just to make sure that I get him, if I really want him, if I haven't filled those positions earlier on in my draft. Derek Lively, Jonathan Kuminga, VJ Edgecombe, Jay Huff, TJ McConnell, and this is where I picked up another guy that I really like this season, Bobby Portis, a forward center eligible player. He's going to have a great role in Milwaukee. He always has a great role in Milwaukee. He backs up Giannis when he is injured. He'll back up Turner. He will be their super 6-man, always a 6-man of the year, perennial candidate and a fan favorite in Milwaukee. Love picking him up late in drafts. Isaiah Jackson and Kyrie Irving there to be stashed. Just goes without saying that it is a big move. Now, I had Kalk Brenner on my list here, and he was taken by Steve St Pierre, and I might have sent a flurry of very kindly worded text to Steve about that situation. Love Kalk Brenner in the last round, and now you can see where this is. People are taking flyers on the potential starters, because in the last round, Kalk Brenner, possible Charlotte Hornets starter, love that. He goes. Cater, Hauser, I've picked up late. I love that. Great source of points and threes. Will get me some rebounds. An elite free throw percentage as well for Sam Hauser. And I think he'll get to the line a lot. Naismith, Monk, Ricochet, Sexton, Kuzma, Gafford, and Bob Carrington round out this draft. So recapping my team again, Cade Cunningham, James Harden, Jalen Johnson, Kawhi Leonard, Kristaps Porzingis, Peyton Pritchard, Tyler Hero, Mark Williams, Timothy Kamara, Brandon Ingram, Zach Edey, Herb Jones, Bobby Portis, and Sam Hauser. Now, I get a couple questions like, Matty, what are your moves to do after that one? Well, let me tell you straight away exactly what I would be doing. Immediately on here on my roster, I'd be moving guys into this. Now, we don't have them set. They would be activated for the season, and I checked, there would be up to 3 IR spots, but let's just say 2 to start it off. Now, with the 3 IR, immediately I am stashing Hero there, and I am stashing Edey. That immediately opens up my roster spots. Now, I do have a reserve for one more reserve spot in here that is not filled. So immediately I can move 2 guys to IR in Hero and in Zach Edey, and I'm going straight to the best of the players available in this one. And there are guys here that I love. And if you look at the current ADP data and stuff like that, there's guys like Scoot Henderson, injured, not going to take him. Or if I have an IR spot free, I definitely grab him, put him in there. They've got Misi, Koulibaly, another injured guy. But I'd be probably picking up guys like DeAndre Hunter. He would be on my list straight there. I just go submit claim and put that in. I wouldn't drop anyone, and I'd put that there, put him in a reserve spot, and this would be it, and that would be my thing. And I haven't moved anybody because that's the performing in the function, and the season's not active, and we've stopped it. But this is a guy that I'm doing that with. I'm doing that with guys also maybe like Cam Whitmore or Kason Wallace. Big fans of all of those guys. Conkinipple, he's still out there. Keyshawn George, I love that. And Wendell Carter Jr., undrafted and probably the last of the best big centers there. Moussa Diabate possibly looks to it. One guy that I'm really high on, and I'd be definitely grabbing for my center role though, would be this guy, Mitchell Robinson. I'd be picking him up absolutely to fill that center role that I need to round out my draft. And that would put me in like the biggest position to possibly win it all in this draft with this team. I am stacked with rebounds, points, threes, assists. I've got steals coming up the wazoo, a very high free throw percentage. You say, but Matty, but Mitchell Robinson's going to ding that a little bit. Yeah, he might ding that a little bit. But if you look at the overall that I've got there, I'm very comfortable and capable right across there because I've got guys who get to the line and make them at an absolute elite percentage right throughout there. Like, that's massive. Like, picking up guys who are going to hit like a lot of free throws at a really high clip is really going to help you right across your season. So that is my Cade build. I am stoked with it. I think it is a league-winning build. And if you want to win your league, you get onto Believe in Fantasy. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of these things. Hit the hype button below. Toot, toot. All aboard the hype train. We are live. We are doing it. Season is just around the corner. I am Matty G. You are you. We are Believe in Fantasy NBA. You take care, be well, and I'll see you soon.